Hey, it's Aaron, the home for mobile reviews, a.ca, and today we're going to do a review of the Griffin Summit. This is a beast of a case, mostly because you can drop it from 10 feet, and it's one of the most water-resistant tough cases that I've reviewed so far. The design of the case is very unique, but like all extra tough cases, there are some issues with the usability of the iPhone inside the case. Based on my time with the Griffin Summit, I've given it a score of 4 A's out of 5. This is the highest rated tough case that I've come across, as it rates better than the Tech 21 Patriot, Griffin Survivor All-Terrain, and the OtterBox Defender. Now, if you're looking for other tough iPhone cases, check out my website, as I've personally reviewed over a dozen of tough iPhone cases. And if you're really wondering what happened to this All-Terrain, well, I'll let you find that out on your own by going through the links in the I or in the description section below. Towards the end of the video, I will do a quick comparison between the Summit and Griffin's own All-Terrain.
Real usage, real reviews. Mobile reviews, a.ca.
At Mobile Reviews, a.ca, we base our reviews on actual usage. So we'll actually spend time with these cases before we actually review them. I know it's a novel idea, I've said it so many times, but every single time I see a box covered in marketing fluff, my eyes just light up, because we get to do a lot of stupid stuff, like throwing a non-waterproof case into a sink filled with water, throwing an iPhone case up in the air with an actual iPhone in it, about 10 feet to see kind of what happens, as well as wearing the belt holster that comes with the product, because wearing your gigantic iPhone on the side of your pants is a good look. I do have to say that I was unable to fit my 6S Plus in the case, as the power buttons were a little too tough to use. So if you do have an S model of the iPhone, make sure that you get an S model of the Griffin Summit. In terms of design, this is a pretty big case, but that's kind of expected for something that you can drop from 10 feet. In terms of installation, this is the only case that I've had to slide the screen protector into the back of the case, and I'll be honest with you, I love it. This makes the case look way cleaner, in my opinion, a little tougher than other cases. And it's just one of the things I've never thought about, because a lot of the cases, you know, you have to clip stuff on the front, you have to wrap a stupid bumper around the front of the case, but some guy in the basement of Griffin's Technology Center said, we're going to slide it in. Having the front of the case slide into the back of the case makes for a better seal than just, you know, having something clip off that tends to pop off. You don't have to deal with anything stretching over time like the Defender, and the entire design of the case just looks a little cleaner. A downside is that it might be a little harder to install. In terms of protection, the iPhone kind of floats inside the case, whereas in the All-Terrain is kind of like the iPhone just sits in the solid block of plastic. This makes the case lighter, and is probably one of the reasons why the Summit is drop rated to 10 feet. Now, I'll be honest with you, I kind of half-assed this entire drop test. I took it outside, dropped it a few times, and then tossed it up in the air. It's approximately 10 feet, I think. The front of the case did come undone just a little bit, but the iPhone is fine. There's no broken screen, and the iPhone is not bent. Summit is a rainproof case, but because of its design, I feel pretty comfortable submerging the entire thing for a few seconds. Water does start filling up from the bottom of the case, but the majority of the case inside after 8 seconds was still pretty dry. And that's probably the biggest reason why this case does so well, is because that everything is covered. It's not waterproof, it's close, but everything is covered, so no matter how much poop you're going to be flinging at this thing, your iPhone's going to stay poop free. In terms of screen protection, the screen protector is pretty thick, and from my time with it, apart from it being incredibly annoying to use, holds up to general usage. Edges are decent height, so there's lots of clearance between a flat surface and the screen protector. I've said a lot of nice things about this product. Griffin is a company that surprises me a lot, because they tend to actually put in a bit of effort, I think, into the design of their products. Now, with all those nice things out of the way, the functionality of your iPhone in this case suffers quite a bit. It's almost as frustrating as trying to get one of Monty's toys out from underneath a cabinet, giving him the toy, and having him roll it back underneath the cabinet again. There is a significant gap between the iPhone screen and the screen protector, which means the sensitivity is greatly reduced, and it really takes away from the touchscreen. Screen viewability gets reduced as you get a lot of light scattering, because the screen protector doesn't sit flush on the screen, and you also get wobbly reflections. The cherry on top for this entire screen protector fiasco is that it diffuses the Retina HD screen. Now, getting to the hardware buttons on your iPhone is a completely different story, as the volume and power buttons are incredibly easy to use. The mute switch is awesome because it's massive, and the port cutouts are big enough for third-party cables and headphones. The membrane on the Touch ID works, but I do have to say that sound is slightly muted, which is also the case for call quality. That's all I got for the Survivor Summit. Again, give it a score of 4 A's out of 5. This is one of the best tough cases that I've reviewed. Before I get to the comparison with the All-Terrain and the Summit, if this is the first time you watch one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe, because I produce content 2 to 3 times a week, mostly with product reviews, but I am doing tips and tricks in the next while. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Tumblr, as well as Google+. So between the Summit and the all-terrain, definitely go with the Summit. Even if the all-terrain is, really, really cheap, still stick with the Summit. It's a better case, in my opinion, as it's sleeker, less bulky, and it's easier to deal with. Belt holster on the all-terrain is actually pretty terrible and looks awful. And it's only drop rated to 6 feet, whereas in the Summit, as I've been saying for this entire video, it's 10 feet. And yes, flappies on this case are pretty awful. It's a pretty simple comparison. Summit wins hands down. Did you guys find Monty? Well, you can't see him because he's behind me. He's having a little bit of a timeout.